Having Triple H replace Bruce Pritchard, having Triple H being back in charge, especially on the main roster, this will be the death blow for AEW. This is going to kill AEW very, very soon. I don't care if you're a fan of Triple H or this move. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not. This will kill AEW very soon. Do people realize how big this is? The fact that he's in charge now? On the main roster, Triple H is in charge of head of creative. People are not really understanding how crazy this move is for the WWF. Because, dog, have you noticed all the top stars currently in AEW? The only reason they are there because Triple H was no longer in charge of NXT. Triple H had no control over them walking away from the company. He had no control over them being a part of budget cuts. He had no control over that. Now he does. See? Dog, the only reason Adam Cole is there is because Triple H had no control over him leaving. He had no control over how Adam Cole was going to be booked on the main roster. Dude, the only reason Keith Lee and Swerve are tag team champions is because Triple H had no control over their WWE future. He had no control over their main roster career. The only reason Buddy Murphy is in AEW is because Triple H wasn't in charge. The only reason that Aleister Black is now in AEW is because Triple H was not in charge. Like, dog, this is going to kill AEW. You don't think that Swerve and Keith Lee now actually kind of regret not being within the WWE anymore? You don't think that Adam Cole now actually regrets leaving? You don't think that Kyle O'Reilly now regrets leaving now? Dude, those guys are going to leave. Once their contract is up, those guys are going to go back to the WWF. What part of that don't you understand? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of guys try to act out of their contracts. People don't realize this is a real game changer for AEW. This is going to kill AEW, man. What part of that don't you understand? The only reason Pac is in AEW is because Triple H was not in charge of his booking on the main roster. Man, this is a huge game changer because I can see Andre Idol leaving AEW. Why not? He hasn't done a damn thing there. Like, I can see Pac leaving. Now I can see Pac leaving now, man. I can see Miro going back. All these ex-guys from the Black and Gold NXT, I can see them asking for their release to go back to the WWF. Why not? They have no reason to stay there now. The only reason all of those guys got released is because Vince McMahon didn't want them anymore. He saw no upside, no potential. All those guys that Vince McMahon and Nick Khan were releasing, those guys were Triple H guys. Now that he's back in charge, it's like they have no reason to stay away from the company. So this is a death blow for AEW because now they're going to be fighting over talent, literally now. Now I can see Warlow leaving now. I can see Triple H wanting Warlow. This is a huge game changer because they are going to be fighting over guys from the Indies. They are going to be fighting for guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, this is a huge game changer. It's like all the guys from the Black and Gold brand are now in AEW. Once again, they didn't leave the WWF on their own. They got released. And Triple H had no power. Now he has power. Now they have reason to go back. Most likely, Johnny Gargano is going to go back. Like, actually, I can see Tommaso Ciampa actually turning on The Miz and going back to being a successful singles guy now. I'm sorry, I can see it now. So, yes, this is a huge game changer. It's like, yes, I can possibly see AEW dying a slow death because of this. You think all the guys from the Black and Gold brand want to be there? They don't. They don't want to be there. They are there because they got released without the control of Triple H. So this is a huge death blow, man. Tony Khan is going to have to fight over talent with Triple H. All the guys from the Black and Gold brand who are now in AEW, he is going to have to treat them very, very good. If he don't, they going to leave. But I see them leaving anyway. I see them leaving regardless. Dog, I can see Dean Ambrose leaving. Like, seriously, I can see Dean Ambrose leaving. I can see tons of guys on that roster leaving because why not if Triple H is now in charge now? He's in charge of head of creative. What's the point of Adam Cole being there? Dog, Adam Cole has been trash since being signed by All Elite Wrestling. I see him leaving as well. It's like, people, y'all gotta wake up. This is gonna kill AEW. Because the majority of that roster are there because of Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon had no faith in them. I bet Tony Storm regrets not being a part of the WWF now. It's like, I can see Ruby Soho leaving. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be leaving that Tony Khan is going to have to pay tons of money because there's going to be a war. Now, this is now a war now. See, now this is officially a war now because Triple H is in charge of the main roster now. So now they are officially going to be fighting over talent that Triple H wants back. You don't think he wants the majority of his Black and Gold guys back now? I can see Cross coming back. I can see Keith Lee, Swerve. I can see Pac. I can see tons of guys leaving AEW to go back to the WWF. Especially Andre Idol. Now, there's no more excuses. Now, I can see him leaving. I can see him leaving. You see, now the coast is clear now. There's no more Vince. There's no more Vince now, man. No more excuses. Now there's nothing holding them back. See, now they have options now. All the guys from AEW, they got options. Huge options, bigger options. Triple H is back in charge. So, all you AEW fanboys, y'all done. Y'all are done. What side are y'all on now? Triple H, your precious Triple H is back in charge. Which means AEW is going to die soon. Because he is going to take the majority of Tony Khan's talent All the big names. What's the excuse? Because Triple H can pay them any salary. Dog, every interview, when it comes to every black and gold guy that gets cut from NXT, every time they have an interview, they always praise Triple H. They always put him over. Now that he's back in charge, come on now. And yes, I can see FTR leaving now. See, what part of that don't you understand? Your precious FTR, those guys are as good as gone. Once their contract is up, they going back. Why not? Their favorite boss is back in charge of the main roster. You don't think that's very enticing? Those guys are done with AEW. Those guys are done. Y'all gotta realize that all y'all favorite guys who y'all think are being booked well in AEW, yeah, those guys are going to leave soon too. Especially Adam Coleslaw. He is gone. He might be the happiest guy about this news because now he can go back. Dog, Triple H made that guy a star. You don't think Triple H is gonna do that again? He's gonna do it again if Adam Coleslaw goes back, and he will. There's tons of guys on that roster that will go back because the only reason they are there because Vince sent them there. Now that Vince, now it's no more excuses now, man. Tony Khan is done. Tony Khan is done, man. Like, now what moron? Now let this sink in. What moron would choose AEW over the WWF now? Who? What big star will choose Tony Khan over Triple H? You see where I'm getting at now? Do you finally wake up? Please wake up. All Elite Wrestling is done. They are going to lose a lot of talent. A lot of talent from this news. Because now there's nothing that's going to be holding them back from going to the WWF. Now that Vince is gone, now that there's Triple H now, he's back, y'all are done. Now, do I think that he's going to run Raw and SmackDown like he did the old NXT? No. I think he's going to mix in elements of what he did down in NXT, but I think he's going to add a mixture of the black and gold brand and sports entertainment as well. Because when he was in NXT, that was his show. He could do anything he wanted to do because that was his show. That was his baby. But this is Raw. This is SmackDown. He has to add some sports entertainment elements to it now. It can't just be all about the work rate. And I think he knows that. He does remember how his old formula failed during the Wednesday Night Wars. So I figured he has most likely changed and learned his lesson. I don't think we're going to be seeing 40-minute matches or 25-minute matches. I don't think we're going to see that now. I think he has learned his lesson. Don't be like AEW. Be yourself. But do I think that he's going to sign back guys from the indies? Maybe. But I have no problem with that. It's like, look, man, why do y'all want people to be unemployed? It's like, I have no problem if Triple H were to sign back guys from the indies. Like, I don't care about that. Dog, you can't build your company around green guys with no experience. Are you stupid? Are you dumb? You might be dumb if you think that. Why do you want the main roster in NXT to be filled up with guys with no experience and that are super green and they can't lead a match? That's pretty stupid. Okay, by your logic, we should close up all the wrestling schools. right? Every kid who has a dream on trying to get signed by the WWF, and they are currently in wrestling school, and they are trying to make an impact on the indies, I guess they shouldn't sign those kids. I have no problem with Triple H signing people from the indies. I never had an issue with that. I just had an issue with his style of booking. I never had an issue with the guys he was signing. It was all about the booking. I didn't like his booking style, but I didn't care about the guys he was signing. It's like, people, don't get brainwashed by certain podcasters, bro. Signing guys from the indies, it's like, who cares? If you go to pro wrestling school to train, eventually you have to wrestle on the indies. So I guess we should close the door on those guys who are trying to make their dreams happen. So you want the WWF to sign linebackers out of college, green guys with no experience, no goddamn charisma, no nothing, no experience at all. You want those guys to get signed and build around those guys. That's stupid. That's dumb. So you want to watch sloppy matches with green guys? Look, man, Roxy came from the indies. She was trained by Booker T. So by your logic, let's close the door on all the wrestlers that Booker T trains. He has his own pro wrestling school. So we should close the door on his school. He sends people to the WWF. So by your logic, let's say no to Booker T students that he trains, right? It's like, get your head out of your ass. Cora Jade came from the indies. Braun Breaker came from the indies. Tony D'Angelo also came from the indies. So what are we talking about here? Miss Lyons came from the indies. Carmelo Hayes also came from the indies. It's like, bro, you have to mix your show with elements of people with experience and people who are green. You need people who are experienced to teach the wrestlers who are green how to wrestle. You can't build your whole show around 5 matches with people with no experience on pro wrestling. What part of that don't you understand? The WWF has never built their show around homegrown talent. Never. Stone Cold wasn't no damn homegrown talent. Bret Hart was not a homegrown talent. Shawn Michaels was not a homegrown talent. The Undertaker was not a homegrown talent. Those guys came from other places. So look, I don't care who they sign as long as they're talented. If you have talent, you deserve a job. I don't care where you came from. If you're talented, you should be signed. I mean, that is like, wow. That is the definition of discrimination. If you don't want guys who are busting their ass on the indies not to be signed. What if they have talent? And look, man, when it comes to the indie scene, dog, it's pretty damn weak now. So it don't matter who they sign. The indie scene is currently weak. So who cares who Triple H signs? As long as they're talented, that's all that matters. It's like, look, I can see Dexter Lumis coming back now. It's like there's tons of people I can see coming back. Like, for example, Cameron Grimes. People feared what type of career would Cameron Grimes have on the main roster. See, now we know now. I think Cameron Grimes is going to have a great career on the main roster thanks to Triple H. You see, that's going to entice a lot of people from AEW. Because they now know Triple H is now in charge. Now there's going to be a huge war now. What guys will Triple H sign from AEW? Who is going to ask out of their contract from AEW? Right? Dog, I can see Powerhouse Hobbs leaving. I can see Ricky Starks leaving. Those guys are guys that Triple H would probably sign. I can see those guys leaving. Tell you, look, AEW is going to die soon, man. I'm telling you. There's no reason for guys from AEW not to want to sign back with WWF. Once their contract is ended, those guys are as good as gone. So yes, now this is a real war. Triple H, dog, he raided the indie scene years ago, right? Okay, now he's gonna raid AEW for revenge. Because let's be honest, AEW, they cost him his job down in NXT. You don't think Triple H still remembers that? That they cost him his job. He's going to get revenge by taking some of their top talent, and he's going to bring those guys back home. Dude, look, the only reason all of your favorite black and gold wrestlers failed on the main roster is because they weren't able to get protected by Triple H. They were not protected by Triple H anymore. That's the reason why Adam Coleslaw and Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, guys like that, that's the only reason they stayed down in NXT for like 10 years. Because they knew that was their safe place. That was their safe haven. That was their fishnet. It's like, that was like their safety net. Like they couldn't go anywhere. Because they knew if they went to Raw or SmackDown, they knew they wouldn't be big time stars like they were down in NXT. What does that tell you? Same thing with FTR. They always said that Triple H, he tried to protect them on the main roster, but he couldn't. There was only so much Triple H can do with FTR on the main roster. He couldn't have their back as much as he wanted to because of Vince. Now that he's back in charge, Triple H, come on, man. What makes you think FTR ain't going back? Dude, the only reason that Adam Coleslaw is down in AEW is because Triple H couldn't protect him on the main roster. Now that he's back, Adam Cole, he is as good as gone. FTR, those guys are gone. Say goodbye to those guys. They have no reason to stay down in AEW. At the end of the day, the WWF will forever be the biggest show in the world. All your favorite guys from the black and gold brand, those guys are going back. That's it. I'm done.